Kindness is strength. In the village of Grit Valley, everything was made of the hardest, driest clay. The people there believed that to be strong, you had to be stiff and unyielding. Mal was different. He kept his clay damp and flexible. While others practiced standing still like statues, Mal spent his days mending broken fences and smoothing out the bumpy paths so others wouldn't trip. Mal's friend, Sira, tried her best to follow the village rules. She carried heavy stones and never complained, even when her shoulders began to show tiny, jagged cracks. "You should rest, Sarah," Mal whispered, offering her a damp cloth. But Sira shook her head. "In Grit Valley, rest is for the weak, Mal. We must be like the mountains." The leader of the hardest hearts was a boy named Flint. He was made of dark, kiln-fired clay that never bent. Flint spent every afternoon building a massive wall around his house. He told everyone that he didn't need friends or help because his strength came from being totally alone and totally solid. One afternoon, Mal noticed a deep fissure forming at the base of Flint's great wall. He hurried over to warn him. "Flint, the ground is shifting. If you don't soften the base, the whole thing will tumble." Mal reached out, offering a handful of soft, moist river clay to patch the gap. Flint let out a loud, hollow laugh that echoed through the valley. "Keep your mud, Mal. Only the weak need things to be soft. My wall is perfect because it is hard." He kicked a pebble toward Mal and turned his back, ignoring the warning and the small hissing sound of the wind entering the crack. Suddenly, the earth began to rumble. A tremor shook Grit Valley. Because the houses and walls were so stiff, they couldn't wiggle with the ground. Flint's wall began to groan and snap. He tried to hold the bricks together, but he was too rigid to move quickly. With a deafening crack, the wall gave way, trapping Flint's legs beneath a heavy slab. The other villagers stayed back, afraid of the falling debris. "He's the strongest," they whispered. "He'll pull himself out." But Mal didn't wait. He knew that even the hardest stone could break, and that being strong meant showing up when things were falling apart. He grabbed his bucket of water and ran toward the dust cloud. Mal reached the ruins and saw Flint pinned down. Flint's clay skin was starting to shatter from the pressure. "Don't move," Mal said gently. He didn't try to lift the slab with brute force. Instead, he poured water around Flint's trapped legs, turning the dry earth into slippery, forgiving mud. He reached out his hand. With the ground softened, Mal was able to slide Flint out from under the heavy weight. Flint sat up, dusting himself off. He looked at his hands, then at Mal. "I thought kindness was just for people who couldn't handle the grit," Flint muttered, his voice shaking. "But you came into the danger while I was just stuck." From that day on, Grit Valley began to change. Mal and Flint worked together to build a new kind of community center, one with a garden that needed constant care and water. Flint realized that it took more strength to be open and helpful than it did to be a wall. He learned that while stone can break, a heart that bends stays whole.